Hi, my name is Darren Joseph from HCJ.tax. We're the team that seeks to demystify this sometimes confusing world of international tax. And today we have the honor and the privilege of having a chat with Lovie. Lovie, can you please introduce yourself to those that don't already know you?
Thanks, Darren. My name is Lovie. I'm the managing director of Animo Associates Mauritius Limited. Animo Associates Mauritius is a licensed management company. We are regulated by the FSC. We are involved into the process of doing all the company formations. So any type of company, be it domestic, GBC, authorized companies, special licenses. We also, any company that needs a license in Mauritius would need a management company like Animo. On top of it, we also assist our clients with opening of bank accounts, day-to-day administration, bookkeeping, compliance, taxation. And we also assist our clients who want to come and live and work in Mauritius. There's a lot of them who also purchases property here. Animo is not only present in Mauritius. We are headquartered in the UK as a group across the UK. So London, Mayfair, Essex, Manchester, Birmingham. We're also present in Ireland, Cyprus, Dubai, but we work with the rest of the world. That's a little bit of Animo probably for you. And I'll be very happy to assist you if I can do further.
Fantastic. What about the residency for self-employed entrepreneurs? Could you talk us through that one?
Yeah, if you go back on what I've explained to you earlier, there is more on the investment of purchase of property. But there is another scheme which we call the investor work permit. I will call it investor scheme. The investor work scheme is mainly where a guy wants to set up a company in Mauritius and you would like to be the shareholder and the director of this company. For you to get the residency, you would need to inject a minimum of $50,000 or equivalent in rupees as stated capital of the company. The permit will be valid for a period of 10 years initially, but for the permit to be renewed after the 10 years, it is important that the company makes a turnover, not net profit, a turnover of at least 4 million rupees as from year 3, which is roughly $100,000 from year 3 onwards. Again, the same dependency, the same people can accompany the person here. The opposite of the investor permit is the self-employed permit. The self-employed permit is where you have the one-man show company. It's more for freelancers. It's more for people who work on their own account, like accountants, people who just do online work, something like that. In contrast to the investor permit, the self-employed permit, instead of the initial stated capital of $50,000, in this case, you would only need $35,000. And as from year 3, you would only need to make a turnover of 800,000 rupees, which is enough for you to sustain the business.
Sorry, 800,000 rupees, roughly how much is that in dollars?
Let's say 800,000 divided by 45, just about. So we're talking about $40,000 plus, roughly $35,000, I would say.
So as a self-employed person, you need initial capital. So could that be working capital, or does it have to sit in a bank account and you can't touch it?
No, it doesn't need to be. A good thing is that you're allowed to use this money. So it is not unimpaired capital, like we call it. So it is a capital that you can use for your working capital. And this is why it allows you the first 3 years to use this money for you to run the business. And technically, you're assessed after the 3 years when you start making this amount of money in terms of your net profit that you generate from the business. So this is why the main assessment for the renewal is done from year 3.
Understood. And does the funds need to be remitted into a bank account within Mauritius, or could it stay in, let's say, Singapore, wherever it is?
It will have to be in the bank account of the company that you set up in Mauritius, of course, because it has to be sure that the money is from here. And basically, you will be allowed to use your banking for your day-to-day running of the company. You would need to make sure that you are doing your things in the right manner. And you will have your management company who will be guiding you on your day-to-day affairs.
So I'm just comparing it to other jurisdictions that have like a self-employed or a so-called nomad visa option. So in this scenario for Mauritius, you would need to incorporate an entity. You can't trade in your own name, correct?
Under the self-employed, you can do, there is something here which we call the business registration card. It is a specific trade license that you need to apply for. To draw your attention, under the self-employed permit, it's not every business that is allowed to have a permit under the self-employed. It's only qualifying activities, and those activities would most probably be special activities like our freelancers activities. So it's always important that when the client comes to us that we know what they want to achieve. And then from there, we have to go and check in the list of the qualifying activities whether their activity falls under that condition that they have there. If it does, then it's technically the $35,000 as stated capital. and on top of it, it would be the 800,000 rupees as turnover from year 3.
Right. Okay. So it's quite nuanced. It's different from what we've seen in other jurisdictions, like the Emirates and Spain and Portugal and so on. Once you qualify under one of those activities, you would need to incorporate a business. So you can't do it in your own name, correct?
Under the investor permit, you will have to incorporate a company for sure.
Gotcha.
Because it has to have at least board of directors, it has to have shareholders, it has to have the business at its own. Remember, the investor permit is more than one-man show company. Under a self-employed company, the idea is that you're supposed to be a one-man show company, but you're allowed to decide whether you want to do the business under your own name, which means that you apply for the business residency card under your own name, or you apply via a company, and then you in the company, you will be the sole director, the sole shareholder. It depends what you want. So very flexible type of approach in Mauritius, which allows you to do your activities depending on what you want. But we always recommend our clients to go for a company, because as you can imagine, under the company, you have the ability to protect your liability, because a company is more well structured compared to somebody who owns something in his own personal name.
Okay.
Again, so under the self-employed permit, you still get to bring your dependents, or the person who wants to come with you. According to what I've mentioned earlier about the dependents, that's what the person will be able to come to.
Okay.